Okay, so I'm going to make a start. Manveen, thank you for allowing participants in as and when they arrive. So obviously needs me to say thank you, of course, for joining me today. Those of you that I haven't met before, my name is Julia Coakley. I'm the COO at the MGAA, and I've been with the association for 5 years now. 5 fun-filled years. Hopefully there'll be another 5 more of the same. I'm delighted to talk to you today on the value of MGAA membership, specifically for market practitioner members. The MGAA predominantly work for our MGA core membership, but of course the provision of capacity and suppliers such as those that provide claims management service, loss adjusters, etc., are absolutely key to MGAs being not only operational but for successfully operating. And as I say, market practitioners and those that facilitate or actually provide capacity are an absolute critical part of MGA's operations. Before I begin, just wanted to give you a quick reminder that within the members dashboard, there is a recordings on demand area that allows you to watch not only the recordings of our webinars that cover all sorts of topics, but also the webinar that where I discuss benefits for MGA members specifically and benefits for supplier members specifically. So I'm going to talk today about the member benefits for market practitioners. So if it's something that is not perhaps relevant to you, then do feel free to navigate to your user dashboard and, as I say, to pick up those program recordings. Manveen is putting, as we speak during the course, Manveen will drop in various links where appropriate into the chat that will give you easy access. So I want to extend firstly a really big thank you to existing MGAA market practitioner members for your continued support. Not only do you enrich the membership of the MGAA, and for those reasons certainly that I've already mentioned now, but also it's a really great community to be part of. And we hope, and indeed to an extent we know, that we provide value to our members. But we really do appreciate your membership and market practitioners. It's not only about the importance and the necessity for you to provide capacity to MGA members, but it's also about, as I say, enriching this community. We all know, those of us that have been in the insurance industry for many years, it's a relationship-based sector. And you know, the relationship you make early in your career sometimes can last through for many, many years. Some of us that are a bit older than others, many, many, many years. I also want to thank those of you that have newly joined the association. I really and truly and sincerely hope that you enjoy a long and fruitful association with our business, and of course for our MGAA members and other market practitioners and supply members, because it is a whole ecosystem that we're all part of. And you know, we have no doubt, and indeed it's been evidenced, that you know, our supply members can equally provide services to market practitioner, i.e. insurer members, and vice versa. So you know, it really is a whole ecosystem. So we started our business in 2011. As with most associations, it would have been a handful of MGAs coming together to realise that there was actually value and indeed force and power in the collective voice. So whether it be to speak to the regulator, or for learning and development needs, or simply networking and finding out what's going on in the MGA community, you know, there really was a recognition that there was value in the wider voice and the volume. So we started in 2011 with founder members, and the MGAA has grown, and we now find ourselves in 2026 with over 480 MGAA members. We have over 250 MGA members and over 70 market practitioner members. Market practitioner members, on the whole, I would say probably about 90% of those members are from recognised insurance companies such as Wacom, Great Lakes, Great American, AXA, Aviva, Zurich. Apologies if I haven't mentioned your business name, but really well recognised brands of business. And we truly appreciate your support in joining our association. Our current MGAs control in excess of 15 billion in GWP, that's billion GWP. I think when I first started 5 years ago, our MGAs, I quite specifically remember, controlled 5 billion of GWP. That was 5 years ago. So the growth of that in our membership really does tell its own story. So today I'm going to walk you through the 3 pillars that underpin your membership. Supporting those 3 pillars, there'll be areas that support your brand and brand recognition, and also the knowledge and education of your staff. So knowledge and education is our first pillar. We also, our output also leans into regulatory and compliance, and of course events and networking, which I would say on the whole is one of the key benefits for market practitioners joining our association. Each of these are designed to help you strengthen your brand, grow meaningful relationships, and support your teams with high quality learning and insights and access to market critical information. When I talk about educating your staff, I'm under no illusion that all of your businesses will have successful and robust learning and development programs. So when I talk about that for our market practitioner members, what I really mean is enabling your staff and those that engage with MGAs to really understand what's important to the MGA community. So it isn't just about learning how best to manage claims, as I'm sure you've all got really well embedded and strong learning and development platforms and programs to support your own staff. But ours are really tailored to help you understand as a market practitioner what's important to our MGA members, which obviously and ultimately leads to much more valuable and enriched conversations with those members. So the first I'm going to touch upon is, as I say, probably the most important to our our market practitioner members, and that's networking and connecting you with the MGAA community. One of the biggest advantages of MGAA membership is the ability to connect directly with an active and highly engaged MGA sector. We host dynamic annual program of events, including the annual conference, our capacity exchange, which this year has been rebranded as our Portfolio Solutions Exchange, 2 broker exchange events a year, our Republic of Ireland industry briefing, the MGAA claims conference, and our regular briefings, forums and receptions. So all of these afford you the opportunity to be in the room with not only participants in MGA operations, but also those senior leaderships that can really, again, enrich the conversations you have with MGAs directly. The other opportunity, of course, with networking and leaning into, as I said, about your staff, is sharing insight and, of course, exploring capacity appetite mutually. It strengthens your position in the delegated authority market and really stands you up as an expert in the delegated authority market. So this year's annual conference is on the 7th of July, and for the first time we'll be hosting this at our new venue, which is the Business Design Centre in Islington. It's a major upgrade for us and promises an even more dynamic, interactive and engaging event experience for all attendees. Of course, as I hope, but I'm sure you know, we do also have awards and sponsorship opportunities. These packages provide outstanding visibility and association with excellence across the MGA sector. These include not only access to sponsorship of our now well-established MGAA awards, but just as importantly, I would strongly encourage you to submit entries for the awards themselves. Winning an MGAA award offers significant brand exposure, supported by our excellent trade press coverage. This ensures that winners receive extended visibility and recognition across the market. Because we're, in the scheme of things, a relatively small membership compared to perhaps associations such as BIBA and ABI, it really does give you a great opportunity when you submit an award, that the chances of you being successful are perhaps greater. For those of you in the betting world, I'm sure the odds are shorter to win an award in the MGAA annual awards over and above perhaps something like the Insurance Times. You'll find the link to our awards page within the chat. My colleague Manvi will kindly drop that in if she hasn't already. You'll need to log into your MGAA user account to access the awards information. But with regard to sponsorship, Sarah Greenwood, our events and sponsorship director, would also be delighted to hear from you if you have any questions regarding the sponsorship packages that we offer. We do have a huge number of sponsors, but I would only say that as a demonstration of just how important visibility is amongst our MGA community to our wider membership. I'm just going to pause briefly there just to ask if anybody has any questions on the events and networking opportunities I've just set out there. Please feel free to drop any questions into the chat. Okay, no questions. So if you do think of anything at any time, as I say, please drop your questions into the chat. So knowledge and education, our second pillar. We support professional standards, again stating the obvious, but the more highly regarded MGAs, and in particular MGA underwriters are, the more attractive they are, not only to yourselves as market practitioners offering capacity, but to brokers to use as their underwriters of choice, and of course widening those distribution channels, which, you know, let's face it, that's the whole purpose of you utilising MGAs. So I'm just going to answer a question come up in the chat from Greg. Can market practitioners attend broker exchanges? The broker exchanges have a very specific objective, and that's to bring MGAs and brokers together. So within the membership benefits package that market practitioners enjoy, there isn't the eligibility to join the broker exchanges. However, our sponsorship packages can afford you delegate passes into the broker exchange. So Greg, again, if you'd like to take up with Sarah, just to make an inquiry as to what sponsorship packages there might be in order to become eligible to take delegate passes for broker exchanges, she really would be delighted to hear from you. Paul, of the events I've mentioned, which are the best place for carriers. So our portfolio solutions, which was previously our capacity exchange, is targeted to, as I've just said about broker exchange, bringing together MGAs and brokers. Our portfolio solutions, previously capacity exchange, very specifically is aimed at market practitioners coming along, taking a table and receiving inquiries and having conversations specifically with MGAs. Now, portfolio solutions, historically, we don't have too many sponsors to that event. So it's a very specific and very targeted opportunity for you really to get to the nub of those conversations with MGAs. What I'm actually fond of saying to our MGA members is they can go up and speak to those, if you like, exhibiting. It's not quite an exhibit because you tend to take a poser table high stall, so it's really more to facilitate a meeting. But MGAs can approach the capacity providers of their choice. They can advise on the products that they underwrite, and then you as market practitioners can share with them your appetite. So it does take away an element of that, you know, as much as we love it, that small talk, and you can get straight to the heart of the purpose of being at the portfolio solutions event. And again, as I say, what I'm fond of saying with our MGA members is that there's 3 outcomes to spending 5 minutes with a capacity provider. One is it's not within our appetite, but thank you for stopping by. The second is it's not within our appetite right now, but let's keep in touch. And the third, more excitingly, is we're interested, let's have a coffee. So it's a very specific event. The portfolio solutions event is scheduled for, I was due to cover that, but it's the 15th of September. So registrations are not open for that event just yet, because we have upcoming our broker exchange and of course our annual conference. But registrations will be open in the coming months to not only take a table, but to obviously take a place at the portfolio exchange event, portfolio solutions event, to speak to those MGAs. If you wanted to email your contact at the MGAA to express your interest in attending the portfolio solutions event, please feel free, and I can pop you onto a spreadsheet, or the team will pop you onto a spreadsheet, just so we can make sure that when we open registration, if we don't hear from you, we have that belt and braces to play back to you. You expressed an interest, but we haven't received your application. Again, just to expand on the events there, Paul, that are best place for carriers. Both our annual conference, we have over 1,200 delegates attend. Fantastic event, great opportunity to speak to as many people as you want to. So it really is a great opportunity for market practitioners to come along. Delegate passes come within your membership benefits, so there's no additional cost by way of sponsorship, although as I've just said, sponsorship commitment is very, very welcome. And also something I think that we probably, or two things perhaps we underplay for events that are beneficial to market practitioners. Our BIBA Drinks event, it's incredibly well attended. It's incredibly informal. We have it on the first day of the BIBA conference on the Wednesday. This year it's, I think it's for the third or perhaps fourth year even, third year running, we've had it at King Street Townhouse. And when I say informal, there's no presentations, it's just come along, have a drink on us, talk to whomever you want, reconnect with existing relationships, you know, and form new contacts with people that attend. So very, very well attended event. The other one, the other event that I would point out is our Republic of Ireland event, our address on all things Republic of Ireland. So that happens in October, I believe. Last year we held that in alignment with the Brokers Ireland Meet the Market event, which was great timing. So as I say, it's another event you come along to. It's quite an intimate event, as in I think last year we had about 50, just over 50 attendees. But we have a couple of our supplier members present, one of which is SICSIC Advisory, who are our compliance partners for all things CBI and Republic of Ireland related, and suppliers that have a particular interest in the that particular territory's activities, along with a presentation from Mike Keating. Thank you, Paul, and Greg, thanks for acknowledging that covered your question. So just again, replaying, I just said the annual conference, as I've just mentioned, our capacity exchange rebranded as Portfolio Solutions, 2 broker exchange events a year where there are sponsorship opportunities that give you event attendance, which would kind of fall outside of your member benefits. Republic of Ireland, industry briefing. The MGAA Claims Conference is a really another good opportunity to come along. We offer supplier members to exhibit, but market practitioners can take, I don't know, please forgive me, I can't recall whether it's 1 or 2 delegate passes that come within your membership benefits. But again, it's a really good opportunity to send your claims professionals along to again really understand the concerns and the part that MGAs play. As we know, often claims management by MGAs is either a kind of a tripartite agreement between a third-party resource and the market practitioner, the capacity provider. It can be simply outsourced to a third party. They can take it in-house, but also lean into their market practitioner partners. So there's a number of models that MGAs use, but again, there will be certain key factors that are trending, regulatory compliance matters that impact claims handling, but all again very, very much focused on what impacts MGAs, and for you to come along and again continue to get under the skin of what's important to MGAs, the challenges that they face. You know, I really feel it's an invaluable opportunity for you as a capacity provider to take to again enhance your knowledge of the MGA activity and community. We also have regular briefings, forums and receptions. So receptions would come under our, Biba drinks would come under our receptions. But also last year, we started what will become a regular feature. We had our autumn forum, was delivered in the winter, but I don't think anyone's going to quibble about that. But it was another great opportunity to come along. And, you know, if I'm really transparent, if the topic isn't necessarily within your appetite, please don't forget that our members will be there and it will be of interest to our members and therefore potentially would be of interest to you, just to take the opportunity again to network and engage with those members and find out where their challenges are. So this year's annual conference, as I say, takes place on the 7th of July at our new venue, the Business Design Centre in Islington. I really do encourage you, if you'd like greater exposure at the event, to speak to Sarah Greenwood about sponsorship opportunities. And I'd reiterate, please consider submitting an entry to the MGAA Awards. It really would give you that extra visibility of your brand and your appetite to work with MGAs. And there's no charge to enter. So it's kind of that thing that you've got to be in it to win it. So knowledge and education. Again, to reiterate, we don't expect to be taking the place of any of your own learning and development programs or learning platforms, but it really does give you an opportunity to understand what's of interest to MGAs. Within our professional optics and learning insights program, we offer our technical insight streams. These cover claims, underwriting, operations, Lloyd's and compliance. The latter support your understanding of the challenges that can be faced by MGAs and once again enrich conversations with your future delegated authority partners. Our upcoming compliance insights are now attended by representatives from the FCA, and our compliance partners also attend with expertise in the UK and Ireland, but that also includes expertise in the Republic of Ireland as well. So matters that incorporate output from the Central Bank of Ireland as well as the FCA. We also propose to reintroduce access to Connect with Lloyd's. It's an excellent resource that provides valuable insights into the Lloyd's market, supported by significant collateral the MGAA already retains, further strengthening the value to our members, and that includes suppliers, yourself as market practitioners and MGAs. Lloyd's have been recently delivering DA presentations, and again, it really is an invaluable resource to really get under the skin of what's impacting MGAs. And when you think about it, you know, we all know that MGAs are regulated as intermediaries. So when we're talking about MGAs and what impacts MGAs, many of those activities impact brokers as well. And whilst we're not here necessarily to support brokers, both come under the delegated authority umbrella. So, you know, the dual benefit to capacity providers is what they learn about what's impacting MGA delegated authority, and particularly when it comes to Lloyd's, will also be almost certainly impacting brokers who operate as delegated authority as well. So it does again enhance your understanding of the delegated authority arena. You also have access to our technical library. We have templates, sample wordings and guidance within that library. You're also coming under our professional optics and our learning and insights, our recordings on demand. So I've referred to that earlier with regard to my webinars on MGA benefits and supplier benefits of membership. This recording will also sit in there, but the recordings on demand cover an absolute wealth of information. There's recaps on wide-ranging topics delivered by subject matter experts, with a wealth of knowledge on areas such as loss mitigation, claims management, digital platforms, risk selection, and much, much more. We also include recordings on DE&I sessions, mental health and wellbeing. Just going back very briefly to technical insights, within your membership, we do invite you as members to contribute to our technical insights briefings. Now, I view it as the messages that you give to your own in-house underwriters are also going to be invaluable to your DA partners who are underwriting. So there has been a number of occasions when we've invited our capacity providers to speak, whether it be on our technical underwriting insights, our technical claims insights that we execute to members. And often I've had the question as to what would we like you as market practitioners to talk about. I get that question because one would consider that it would be good to understand what MGAs want to know about. But if you've ever attended, been part of a briefing or a forum where a market practitioner, i.e. a capacity provider, is speaking, they are incredibly well attended. And the reason they're well attended is because our MGAs really want to know what you as capacity providers have to say. It's incredibly important to them. While I'm promoting at the moment the ability for you to get under the skin of what's important to MGAs, equally, our MGAs want to know and want to get under the skin of what's important to capacity providers. So if you wish to participate in any of our insights and you want to put forward your subject matter experts, we will, I think, quite effectively, quite importantly, bite your hand off. We would take that. We would love to have you deliver on our technical insights and our technical claims insights, because you are the experts in these fields of underwriting and claims management. So if that is of interest, please reach out to Manveen Toohill, our Learning and Development Manager. She would love to speak to you about how you can participate in our technical insights meetings for members. What sits alongside that is our market briefings. So our market practitioner members can deliver a couple of market briefings a year, so within your membership year, that talk specifically about your business, why you are successful, what your appetite is, and your reach. I think we've got Paul Dooley of Great American on the call. I think Great American have actually participated in this before. And again, as I say, when we have our capacity providers speaking to our members, they're very, very well attended. So you get a great exposure to a very wide element of MGA membership. Again, if that's something you're interested in taking up, I think our briefings are booked well into May, if not beyond. But Manveen Toohill, our Learning and Development Manager, can discuss directly with you if you'd like to participate in a briefing that speaks directly about you and your business and your appetite. The insights, just to revisit that, the insights are more about your technical knowledge and expertise, but briefings are specifically about you and what you want to get out of MGAA membership. So our third pillar, regulatory and compliance. So we give market practitioners a voice, and one of the most important parts of your membership is the influence that we deliver on your behalf. We engage directly and indeed have excellent relationships with the FCA, the CBI, the PRA. We engage with the Treasury and of course Lloyd's and industry associations, which mean that we can ensure that your interests are also considered along with MGA's interests, and that they're the front and centre of conversations with these important organisations and associations. We'll discuss policy, regulation and market change, again, all very impactful to all of us in the insurance sector. So your membership in terms of the regulatory and compliance landscape contains access to our regulatory calendar, our compliance newsletters, both of which cover the Republic of Ireland and UK and Northern Ireland, breaking updates through our email circulars. So this is about policy, regulations and market change, quarterly round tables. For the FCA regulated of you, we also have monthly drop-ins. So we have a compliance surgery that's offered by our compliance partner Artex. So if it's something very specific that you wanted to talk about in regard to the FCA, then please do reach out again to Manveen, who can facilitate that for you. Again, we have a great relationship with not only our compliance partners, but the regulators. So I would say it's fair to say our relationship, certainly with the FCA, is growing in stature and importance. We have the FCA Open Door on an annual basis, and we also have the FCA, as I said earlier, joining not only our compliance committee, which is part of our organisational regulation, but we also have the FCA joining our compliance insights meeting. So really on the kind of informal, where they're in the informal position to answer your questions directly where they can. So the FCA Open Door, but also the FCA compliance, the compliance insights also include FCA representatives. So engagement and visibility, I mentioned at the top of this meeting about brand exposure. So as part of your membership, we help you amplify your brand and promote your appetite across the MGA community. We will be undertaking in the coming months an exercise in asking you to update your profile details. So not only is it important for you to keep your membership directory entry updated, whether you have a new appetite on products, whether you simply want to revise what we're telling our members about you as a business and how you want to work with MGAs. So not only is it important to keep your membership directory entry up to date, but it's really important that we gather data on you and your business in order for us to speak knowledgeably about you as a business, but also to make sure that we make, where appropriate and where required, those contacts between our MGA members and you as a capacity provider. So please do look out for our project on capturing greater data on your business. We delivered a new members platform at the beginning of last year, and we have been quite reticent in rolling that platform out and looking to capture your data too quickly. But I think, I hope most members now are more attuned and more familiar with that platform, and it would be a relatively easy step to access your member profile and update your details. But do look out for the communication on that in due course. So as I've mentioned, you get a listing in the membership directory. We would be delighted for any of you to be promoting the fact that you're an MGAA member on your own website, and even a step further on your own emails. And I do appreciate your own organisational governance, your marketing, your PR, your strategy might not allow for inclusion of the MGAA logo, but where there is an opportunity, we would welcome you promoting that you are a member of the MGAA. So if you have any questions on that, please do let me know. But there is the MGAA logo within resources in your user dashboard that you could direct your own marketing team to, should you wish to display the MGAA logo or on any of your marketing assets. So I've mentioned you have the opportunity to present, sponsor, exhibit and collaborate. Some of our sponsorship packages do come with the opportunity to become panel members. But also, as you may know, we have the MGA conversations where we focus on the C-suite contributions from our sponsors. So again, another opportunity to speak about areas within your business that are particularly important to you to convey to MGA membership. And also that is on a public platform as well. So it's in the YouTube channel as well as in the directory. So it does have wide-reaching visibility. So just in closing, whilst I have covered a good number of areas in this briefing, there really are many other aspects that you can take up from your membership benefits. So if you don't already have our member benefits document, please reach out to whoever your MGAA contacts are, who would be happy to send across to you the actually, it might be an idea, if you haven't already done that, Manveen, if you could upload the member benefits for market practitioners into the chat, that might be something that would be helpful to those of you on the call. So again, to close, your MGA membership gives you access to a thriving community, high value learning, strong regulatory representation, and unmatched, in our view, opportunities for engagement, particularly through events like our annual conference and our portfolio solutions events that I've mentioned. Complete with award submissions and sponsorship opportunities that deliver real market visibility. So I really appreciate your time today. I know everybody's got a busy calendar, but as I say, if you wanted to pass this webinar on to any of your colleagues, this will be uploaded into recordings on demand in user dashboards. If you have any questions that you haven't covered, that I haven't covered, or that you haven't dropped into the chat, please reach out to your MGAA contacts, and we really would be delighted to engage with you and just to make sure that you are deriving maximum benefit out of MGAA membership. So just before we finish, Amanda, thank you for your thanks. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those before we close. Okay, I don't think there's anybody submitting questions, so thank you for your thanks, Greg and Paul. Greg, is there a direct messaging function within the MGAA website? There is a contact form that you can use, and it goes directly through to member services. So feel free to use that. Manveen's just saying cameras and mics are enabled. So yeah, Greg, there is on our website, there is a direct messaging where, as I say, you can go through to member services. So if you don't have a direct contact, thank you, Manveen, just included that direct contact email. That goes through member services. We have our member services executive, Alison Hunt, who does an absolutely amazing job at fielding such a broad range of questions. I liken myself to Alison in I think I know a little about a lot of things. So on that note, thank you again for joining me. I do hope you enjoy the rest of the membership year, and I do hope that we enjoy a long and fruitful relationship with you, our very valued market practitioners. Thanks very much. Thanks, Paul. Thank you.